hear me?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 304 for January 23rd, 2019. My name is Russell Frost, and I have the honor to be your host this evening with this amazing panel. Let's introduce them and get this show on the road. My co-host, my sergeant at arms, my man with a beautiful, beautiful headset, Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Yeah, so the headset is temporary. Those of you, no, I'm building here. So those of you who've been with the show and watching the show regularly know that I used to have a Yeti, a big mic. That was a borrowed microphone, and so now I've got the headsets going. But as I revealed to the other people on while before the show, I'm building up to get this to work.
Oh.
See? So, yes. Unfortunately, right now, there's nothing connected because I can't get it. Apple makes it so hard to put auxiliary input into their Macs, and it's a challenge, but I'll get there. I know it.
There you go.
Yes.
You
also,
will indeed.
I do want to shout out to Brenda
Uh-oh.
this evening, the first one in the chat room. So gold star for Brenda Thompson. Thanks for joining us.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Thank you. Let's see. Next to him is, of course, next to him, because Paul Guzik dropped out real quickly. Next to him, our man in Canada. He drives a spiffy Tesla Model 3. Mr. Mark Coughlin.
And a Chevy Volt. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We've got a ton of news to get to. Just a plethora of topics all over the place.
We are a little all over the place today, which is good. Sometimes a little variety, a little diversity is challenging. And speaking of challenging, my good friend, my good friend, and our man in the Midwest, the master of Tesla vehicles, Dr. Evan Fusco.
That was the best segue ever. That was great.
Evan, if there's one word to describe our friendship, challenging would be it. Don't you think?
I think so, man.
Yeah, in the best way. But
yes.
Yeah, there's
as all good lovers should be.
Yeah, absolutely, cutie. And somewhere, Mr. Paul Guzik of BoulderHC.com in Boulder, Colorado, is rebooting his computer and will join us. So that will serve as an introduction. Again, Paul is the founder and master of BoulderHC.com. So let's start talking about stuff. A little bit of housekeeping. Right now, there are three reviews that are coming out soon. I have a review on the Prius all-wheel drive, the 2019 Prius with all-wheel drive coming, the Avalon hybrid, and the car I just gave up somewhat tearfully today, the Lexus Lc 500. Now you say to yourself, Russell, the Lexus Lc 500, isn't that a little outside of the wheelhouse for what drives us? I mean, it gets at best 15 miles to the gallon in eco mode.
At best, like you tried.
At best. And I'm here to tell you, it is, but we're expanding our horizons, and I got to drive the LC 500 for a week. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a horizon expanding vehicle.
It is a carbon fiber monster, and I broke hearts and a few balls on the roads of North San Diego County this last week. So, allegedly, yes, allegedly. Of course, never violating the traffic laws.
Of course, because this is recorded.
Absolutely. And our attorney talked to me before the show and said, "It meant nothing, idiot."
So you could have sent it my way. Snow, freezing rain. I think we've got about 14 inches of snow covered with freezing rain. It would have been fun to take that car on the road.
All you have to do is ask the same people I talked to, and that car will be in your driveway.
Yeah, they don't ship this far.
Yes, they do. But ask for the hybrid version, because frankly, the difference is pretty. And at least then you can get your 15 mpg in a hybrid.
Got it.
That's about what I got. I think I got 17 in the hybrid version.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, welcome back. We already introduced you and told everybody who you were. Are you okay?
I'm good. Sorry, some technical difficulties here, but hopefully you can all hear me now.
Absolutely. Do you have a beer sponsor?
I do. Well, it's Melvin IPA today.
Nice.
Melvin.
Oh, and look at me. I am empty-handed tonight.
What this is 7.5%. I'm going to be pretty fun here in a little bit.
I very much look forward to that, Paul. First up this week is sort of what I would like to call a Tesla omnibus. It's gives me a chance to rip on Elon for about 5 minutes. Tesla had an interesting week in the news, and none of it really in a good, interesting way. They announced they laid off 7% of their workforce. The stock is down, although I think that's less meaningful than the other things I'm going to talk about because the stock's up, the stock's down, the stock's up. As we mentioned, I think on the Tesla Live previously, the Tesla stock is a wet dream for day traders because it is constantly fluctuating. So other than the stock being down, having some maybe reflection of what's going on with the company, if the stock blips up another $30, then, there goes that argument. So Elon sent an email to all of his employees at 1:20 in the morning after laying off 7% of the staff, basically saying, suck it up, kids, rub dirt on it. We're going forward from here. And of course, somebody's toy rocket fell over in Texas. The Starship.
Blew over in a windstorm.
It blew over in hurricane-like winds in Boca Chica, Texas, which is both tragic and hilarious. Because honestly, I don't take this rocket as anything other than a large promotional tool.
Right, and because we all know that rockets are designed to be aerodynamic in exactly one direction.
Wow. I didn't think that would come from Tony. Go ahead, Evan. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
No, so first of all, the whole rocket didn't tip over. Just the top half of it toppled off when the moorings broke. And it's not a...
It might as well have completely tipped over.
It's a test bed. It's going to only do short launches. They're testing it. It's not the final version of anything.
It's a hopper.
It's a hopper. Right. Who wants to bet right now the micro-perfed stainless steel thing that we've seen so far never, ever makes it off the ground?
I won't take that bet.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are we going to see first? An all EV Cadillac or
not gonna happen? I mean, look, this is an interesting time for Tesla, and we've talked a little bit about this. And I can, Tesla allegedly is going to announce that they've had their second in a row GAAP profitable quarter. Although Elon has already said less profitable than last quarter. So a sub 4%. But if they're 4% in the plus, that is certainly very good news for Tesla. Now, 2019 presents a whole bunch of challenges. We've seen them eliminate the referral program, which may or may not be good move. We've seen them up supercharger prices, which sort of supports the fact that Tesla's running really, really lean right now. They need to spend a lot of money to build Shanghai, the Gigafactory 3, to develop and build Model Y, the truck, and the Semi. That's a lot of cash. So they have a lot of challenges to face this year. We are talking about an American environment where the Model 3 tax rebate, tax credit, is already been cut in half, and in 6 months it will be cut in half again, which means that car is going to get more expensive. We still haven't seen the $35K Model 3. Tesla has a lot of challenges to rise to. Can they do it? I don't know. I'm not here to tell you they can't. What I am here to say is that they face a lot of serious challenges in 2019, and yeah. I leave it open to all of you brilliant gentlemen.
I have no idea where to go from there.
Well, they just canned a bunch of employees, so that will save some money.
7%. So again, this is nothing new for Tesla. They tend to overhire, and then they tend to release employees. This is nothing new. They've done this before. They will most likely do it again. Elon has even talked publicly of how other companies do this type of hiring more than you need, rooting out who you feel is the bottom 10th of the percent and getting rid of them. So it's not new. It'll probably happen again. Although the only difference here is this has now happened twice within a 12-month period. That's a little bit new.
Yeah.
But certainly this is something that they do. This is how they manage things. And as we talked a little bit in the Tesla Life show before this one, I think it's something that they're just honing the machine. As time goes along, they're going to be able to mine efficiencies out of the current operation. They will need less people. And what they're trying to do is eliminate some of those costs at different points throughout the manufacturing process. So trying to get to a lower cost of a car, the $35,000 base Model 3 is going to require losing some people. And that's part of it.
Yeah, it's possible you touched on something there, Russell. Just one thing in that total rant of yours, but no, you had mentioned the Semi and the Model Y. Is it possible? And I'm throwing this out there because maybe it is possible that the jobs being cut, Model S, Model X, Model 3. We know they did some cuts at SpaceX. And then will they shift and hire people for the Semi and for the Model Y and maybe for the Roadster? So over time, they'll build the 7% back up. They'll just be in a different area. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing. That's what I do.
Just me? No, I mean, I think it makes no fucking sense at all. I get the idea that like you motivate your employees if you can X percentage of them every January. I understand that. I don't think it's a great way to treat your people, but you certainly do motivate those people not to be in that bottom X percent. So, that's one way to do it. And we'll see if it's the right way to do it. Can Tesla trim their staff and do all these new projects? I don't know. Where's Tesla going to get the money for Shanghai, for Model Y, for the truck, for Semi? I don't know. Will Tesla, will solar sales continue to plummet? And will Tesla ever release the solar shingles and be on a production schedule with Powerwall? I don't know.
Yeah, David in the chat room just pointed out, and it's a really good point, that constant layoffs could push people to vote for union, something that Elon has been fighting all this time.
Elon hates unions.
Yeah, but if you start telling people that they need to work 70 hours a week, and then you cut 7% of the workforce and say, and the rest of you still need to work 70 hours a week and pick up the difference.
Elon calls that being scrappy.
Yeah. Well, he can do that all he wants. It's when you start telling other people to do it that it doesn't fly.
Got to be scrappy. And Elon's scrappy in that Gulfstream jet every day. He's scrappy as fuck in that jet. Okay. Hey, look, a CEO deserves whatever ride he can get away with. I get it. But it's hard also to stand in front of the world and tell them that your mission is bringing clean energy to the globe when you kill your solar division and you commute daily from Los Angeles in a Gulfstream.
There is that. Yeah.
There's that.
That's because the tunnel's not built yet.
As soon as the Hyperloop's built, he'll be on that. I get it. Evan's being very quiet, and I'm scared. He's planning something, or he's watching a baseball game. I don't know what.
No, it's an interesting, chaotic time. So
But it doesn't commute every day by Gulfstream. I mean, he sleeps on the floor sometimes at the shop.
And that absolutely. Sometimes he's sleeping on the factory floor. So why not? I don't really have anything else. I didn't intend this to be a 30-minute long anti-Tesla rant. I don't think it's an anti-Tesla rant. I think it's you know what? I'll say this. I'll come clean. I'll confess. I'm not an Elon fan anymore. I'm still a Tesla fan, and I think that Tesla is could be an amazing leader in so many things, and so many of their products are so cool. But I think Elon's holding them back at this point. I don't think Elon's the visionary. I think he just throws shit against the wall, like hiring a shitload of people and then firing them. I think a good company hires good people and keeps them. I don't think you spend all that money on training 7% of your workforce annually or semi-annually in this case, and only to let them go. I think that's a foolish way to spend money. But that's me, and I'm not a CEO.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Tesla hires a new CEO from Pepsi, who eventually kicks Elon out of the company, and then when they bring him back, I am so buying their stock.
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah, that was an Apple reference for those of you playing at home. So Steve Jobs kicked out, brought back. Okay. If you have to explain it, it's not funny. I know.
Nope. Never explain the joke,
Yeah.
Tony.
All
Anybody else want to say anything? You can have last word on this. Come on.
No,
You disappoint me. Connor would not let this stand.
Right.
Okay? Patrick Connor would not let this stand.
The only thing I could possibly add is we know that Shanghai is being strongly funded by the Chinese government. They got very low interest loans. It's being fast tracked, and it's in China's best interest that this thing gets up and running quickly. So part of the pressure there is off of Tesla. Not all of it, but part of it. That's the only thing I have to add.
I said I was going to give somebody else the last word.
I'll take it.
Our next story comes from the CBC, and I love the CBC. As it happens, one of my favorite radio shows. And Mr. Mark Coughlin is going to tell us more about it.
Recently, as yesterday, can't get much more recent than that, can you?
Well,
now. Well, okay, yeah, you could say right now, I guess. But the CBC reported that the province of Ontario, where I reside, has indicated that they are now going to allow public road testing of autonomous cars to a level 3, ability. So up to a level 3, which would indicate that someone does have to be able to grab the wheel up to a level 2. A level 3 allows them to, I guess you still have to pay attention. You could grab the wheel, but you don't necessarily have to. Unless, of course, the car is in danger or someone else is in danger. But there have been 9 companies that have signed up or have already applied for this license in Ontario. And some of those, 4 of those companies, there was Uber, there was University of Waterloo, there was QNex, which is the BlackBerry sub company that designs automotive systems.
Oh.
And there was one more that was listed. What was that? I don't have it.
Can I just say I love the Autonomoose?
Well, it's the Autonomoose from the University of Waterloo.
Thank you, University of Waterloo.
It's like a Canadian version of Ghostbusters or something.
But so much cooler.
Yeah, I thought it was one of those like Google Map cars.
So it's a step for the province of Ontario that they're allowing these autonomous cars now on the road to test under some restrictions, but it is a step forward. Obviously, 9 manufacturers of not necessarily manufacturers, but 9 groups have signed up for it already on the Ontario provincial website. Others can sign up through a simple form to submit. And I know that other communities in Ontario, one of them being Stratford, Ontario, which is not too far from me, have set up an area of their city which will allow autonomous vehicles to roam for testing. So Ontario's moving forward with this, trying to, position itself to be a friendly, autonomous test bed. So this is more evidence towards that that was released yesterday.
That's cool, and that will be great for like cold weather and snowy weather and icy weather type testing too.
That's correct, because we do get we do get 4 seasons of weather here. There is no question about it. 8 months
of snow and
yeah. So if you're in Ontario, look out for the autonomous moose. It is now roaming freely on Ontario highways and byways.
You know, I feel pretty comfortable.
So you know why they named it that? So if it causes a collision, the other driver will say, "Yeah, I hit a moose."
I hit a moose. Yeah, and it's just normal. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it did comfort me to know that the Autonomoose has logged 100 kilometers on public roads. And if that's not thorough testing, I don't know what.
Yeah.
And all that is, Tony, is 100 laps around the U of W campus.
There you go. Well, before our next story, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat room. Thanks for being in there. And you can start posting your title suggestions right now throughout the rest of the show.
Even if it's as obvious as Autonomoose. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to avoid Autonomoose. I'm not really sure.
Well, I think they named it Autonomoose because Autonocast was already taken.
Our friend Ed Niedermeyer. Speaking of our friend, well, Tony has a story about something happening in the UK every 9 minutes.
Yes. So it turns out that something happens in the UK every 9 minutes, and on average, and at first I thought it was the changing of the guard. It turns out that that's not what it was.
Wow.
No, it was a study in motor.
Brexit?
Yeah. Somebody drinking a pint. No, I'm sorry. That's 9 seconds. So it turns out that almost 600, or it's not 600, 60,000 plug-in hybrid and electric cars were registered last year in the United Kingdom. And that comes down to, on average, 1 every 9 minutes, which is a lot.
Is that business hours or 24/7?
They did not explain their math. It could have been once every 9 minutes in a time span between January 1st and March 14th. I don't know.
Right.
No, it was the entire year, and I'm assuming that they just did 24/7.
Oh.
I'm going to assume. Someone in the chat room do the.
I'm doing the math.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, car dealers ain't open 24/7.
Yes, I know. Now the thing is, when you look at the pure electric and the plug-in hybrids, the plug-in hybrids are still
24/7.
All right, thank you. So the plug-ins are plug-in hybrids are still outpacing the all-electric vehicles, and one of the reasons that they considered maybe in the article was because people like the safety of the extra range. Still a little bit of range anxiety, still growth in the EV market, as we've seen globally, but still a lot of plug-in hybrids. And then when they threw in the number of the actual straight-up hybrid vehicles, there were 80,000 hybrid cars sold last year. So that's more than the other two combined. So 181,000 total. Unfortunately, even though these are huge numbers, it still represents a single-digit percentage that I can't see right now. It was only like 6% of all the cars purchased in the UK. So, you know, it's cool to say that there's a lot of them, 181,000 hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and EVs, but that's still only 6%. But I'm going to say this. I remember in 2010 when we started and the sale of hybrids, EVs, I don't even know there were EVs, hybrids was 0.5%.
Yeah. And would never get any higher.
Yeah. Yeah. It struggled to get up to 1% for so long. So to see 6% doesn't seem like much, but that's massive growth. That's from what we've seen over the last 8 years.
So does anybody know what all, they mentioned the Nissan Leaf, but what are the full electrics that are selling of it? Because it looks like about 20,000 of them, and I guess there's probably some S's
There's the Renault Zoe.
The Zoes, yeah, definitely. And Tesla's been there.
And Hyundai is now selling into the UK.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see what the end of 2019 numbers look like as the Model 3s make their penetration into Europe. Because I don't know, will they have a right-hand drive this year?
Nope.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm quickly trying to search to see if I could come up with manufacturers. We got the Nissan Leaf, BMW i3, the Volkswagen Golf, the Zoe, the what else we got? We got the Prius plug-in, the Nissan ENV200, which is being counted. The Model X is over there. Yeah. BMW 530e, the Model S, Mercedes-Benz C350e, BMW 330e, and the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV.
Yeah, the Mitsubishi, there's a ton of them there in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
So there's quite a few for them to choose from for such a tiny little island. Yeah. Oh, and as David pointed out in the chat room, they shouldn't have range anxiety because, you know, you can't drive farther than the island is, you know, wide or tall. So... You know,
the island's
not that small
tiny.
of an island.
I know, but it's still a funny thought.
It is. It is that's a good one, Evan. And David in the chat room. Good title. There you go. Hey, before we go to the next story, I did want to say, and Tony just mentioned it. So, you know, we had show 300 a little while ago, just, you know, late last year. And January 20th, 3 days ago, was the 9th anniversary of What Drives Us. We've been doing this show for 9 years. Let that sink in for just a second. 9. Yeah. Look at Evan's already like, what the fuck am I doing here?
9. Early shows were like talking about this Leaf and this Volt that might be coming out.
Uh-huh.
The early shows were about Prius.
Yeah.
Gen 1 Insight.
Tesla Roadster.
Tesla
the
Roadster.
Original, yeah.
Right. The original one. And yeah, the Leaf that was coming out, the Volt that was better backwards in the wind tunnel at that point. It wasn't even the final design of the real Volt.
Yeah.
You know, it was, yeah.
I think I still have my Volt Hot Wheels from that original design. The one that was better backwards. Yeah, I've got it somewhere to dig it up.
Wow, 9 years and we're still on talking terms.
Right?
A lot, I mean, it's pretty cool what's happened in the last few years, especially.
Yeah.
So,
I can't imagine.
EV stuff's got some traction.
Yeah.
Ooh, was that like punny intentional?
I don't know, man.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was slick. That was very slick. You know, it is. Think of another decade. In the last, since cars, right? In the last century or more, that has been as revolutionary as this one. Yeah. And I can't think of one. You know what I mean? Like, we are really genuinely lucky. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there were huge innovations in vehicles over the last 100, 120 years, but, you know, not like this.
Yeah. The rate of evolution is really phenomenal.
Yeah.
The adoption rate is.
I mean, it's kind of scary that, like, the features they're adding in the cars are, like, almost as fast as smartphone development. Like, you know, 5-year-old car, you go, oh my God, this thing is a dinosaur compared to what I can get now in a car, where it didn't used to be like that.
And what's funny is people are keeping their cars longer now than ever, you know, than in the last 30 years. And yet,
because they take 15 years to pay off.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. Right. Because they're on an 8-year loan. And yet, again, Paul's absolutely right in that they're more obsolete now, much quicker than they used to be. I mean, if you had a 1960 car in 1970, whatever, you
even
know,
the 80s cars were the same.
Yeah. It just nothing, you know what I mean? Like, ooh, it had seat belts.
So then they upgraded from 8-track to cassette. That was
right.
And then the CD.
We still have some stumbling blocks though with regulatory stuff. You know, we still have these giant non-aerodynamic mirrors sticking off the side of the car, and instead of replacing those with aerodynamic and better angle of view cameras, right? I mean,
and
blind spots should not exist.
Nope. Absolutely agree, Evan.
And
I'm sorry,
every single car should have autonomous braking as a standard feature. It's easy to do now. Just put it in every car. And like Evan said, electronic mirrors with intelligence to alert the driver that they're going to do something stupid like turn in front of a semi. And it's going to happen. It's just like Evan said, the regulators got to get whapped up on the head and say, hey, get rid of the mirrors. Use technology.
We can't even keep the government open right now.
There is that.
We've traveled down the dysfunctional trail pretty far right now.
Well, and someone's got to like trip up all the lobbyists for the auto industry.
Well, who fought seatbelts? Who fought airbags? Who fought ABS?
Consumers don't want it.
Yeah, consumers don't want it. And I literally remember
slam into the side of a car in my blind spot. Right.
Yeah.
I literally remember my father talking about how the car company that he worked at was arguing that seatbelts would raise the price of the car beyond the reach of the average consumer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that $12 price increase at the factory.
Because of course the seatbelts at that time were woven in gold.
Right. Duh, it wasn't everything. Come on. I mean, I know you're up in Canada and it was probably moose hair, but come on. It has been an amazing time. So I want to say to the people in the chat room and to everybody watching this, thank you so much for sticking with us for 9 years. And even if you haven't, you've been here a month or 2 months or 5 years. Thank you. It's been an amazing 9 years. And the idea that I get to do something this cool with this amazing group of people blows me away every week. I enjoy it. So,
he says that and I still don't know who he's talking about.
Except for Tony Schaefer.
People in the chat room.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Tony has another story, and all I know is the word pissed is in it. And me, I love a good naughty word. So
hold on,
Tony, I just want to understand how you're doing something that takes place in Paul's state.
I know. How did you snafu this story? But
I don't know.
Can I talk a bit about it?
Yeah, you can talk. Wait, what did you just say? Did you just say, can I talk a bit of...
Boot it?
Boot it.
I know, did you just trip up? You're Canadian.
I told you this beer would kick in.
Oh, man.
God. You don't know speak English. You speak Canadian.
I'm going to do the intro. So,
yeah,
as some of you know, in the last election, Colorado elected a new governor who is actually a big EV clean energy guy. And actually also the first openly gay governor in the whole country ever. So we got the weed, we got the gay governor, we got the EV governor. This is the place to be. But of course, as soon as he said he wanted to adopt California emission standards and build EV charging networks, Big Auto kind of dug in their heels and started, rolling coal, I guess, against him.
Yeah.
But Tony, you can take it from here.
Oh, well, I mean, you live it. I just, I just wanted to make sure we talked about it because, I wasn't sure whether or not you would make it to the show. But no, I mean that in a good way.
I had technical difficulties.
Yeah, we always never know who's going to be in the panel. So,
well, that is true.
Yeah. So yeah, he executed. He signed an executive order to increase the number of zero-emission vehicles in Colorado. And like Paul said, going to line up with California. So Colorado would be one of the CARB states now. And I believe, would it be the only landlocked CARB state?
Yeah, it'd be the only CARB state that's not on one of the coasts, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
And that would mean the gray market compliance cars that are finding their way into Colorado would actually be supplied and supported by the manufacturers. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you have like a RAV EV and it breaks, the Toyota dealer goes, "We don't support that. That's a California car." So.
Yeah.
But that's why you come. That's why you come to Paul.
Well, they do come to me. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Shh, Paul, don't pull it.
No. And they're using a bunch of the VW money to build a nice charging network across the state as well. So good things are happening.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, like I said, you know a lot more about this than I do because, you're actually living there. I don't know what it's going to take for me to move there. Probably not much more.
You've been talking about that for years. Okay.
Next, you're going to tell me that Boulder has a brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of breweries here.
And legal weed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tony, of course, doesn't care about that.
Not everybody in Colorado does weed. You might think that.
What? Really? Because everyone in California does. Everyone.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has proven that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah, I was going to say, Russell, you don't have to whisper anymore because it's legal.
Oh. Yeah. Holy shit! It's legal.
Yeah. So I do. Yeah. Of course.
And did you read in the article? Sorry to interrupt, but the governor arrived to the press conference in a Nissan Leaf, which was pretty cool. Statement.
So wait, I need to go back to the weed thing a second. Marcus, it's legal where you are now, right?
It is completely legal where I am.
And Russell, and we need the three of you smoking a giant joint on one of these episodes.
On the show?
Yeah.
Why? You don't think Mark's a good boy. He doesn't do that. It may be legal, but that doesn't mean he approves.
Just because it's legal doesn't mean you have to do it.
No, it's not like you had to change what you do overnight. It's up to you if you wanna smoke weed or not. That's
absolutely.
Yeah, to Paul's point, as is commonly reminded in the same-sex marriage argument, just because it's legal doesn't make it mandatory.
Well, wait. Really? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I got to send a quick email. Sorry.
I got to throw that back.
I'm embarrassed now.
Yeah. I would like to think that Colorado's decision to become a carb state is going to be picked up by more states, honestly. We need to...
More states are doing weed now, so...
Yeah. So there you go. If the manufacturers aren't going to move in this direction, and in fact, if they are seen as an obstacle toward moving in this direction, then I think the states need to claim states' rights and do this themselves.
Well, and they've got a good incentive here, as I've talked about in the past. If you buy any new vehicle with a plug, the state gives you $5,000, which is a pretty nice little incentive. It's interesting. Some of the auto dealers, the new car auto dealers, don't appreciate that. There's one quote in the article. Some dude, head of the Colorado New Dealers Association, says 3/4 of Coloradans choose to drive the light truck category, which includes pickups and SUVs. There's a reason you don't see electric vehicles pulling horse trailers or hauling 6 kids to their events. Well, there isn't an EV truck yet that's commercially available. But
yeah, and another quote that says Colorado's consumers do not need the government telling them what vehicles they should buy.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, because they don't need them inspecting the food either. You know what I mean? The market will sort out who has good food and who doesn't.
Right.
And if you shop at the wrong store and you die, it's your fault.
Right. You don't need FDA inspectors.
Damn it.
There are no FDA inspectors right now. So
yeah, good point. Speaking of which, when did the bodies start hitting the floor there? I've been avoiding romaine for 3 weeks, so
I haven't eaten since the government's been shut down just because I'm scared.
I mean, it's okay if you just eat Pop-Tarts, right? Because those are safe.
Right.
It's safe. It's got a shelf life of 27 years.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thank you. So, how bad could it be? I mean, it's better than getting some of that romaine. I got nothing.
All right.
Is that all we have on Colorado?
We could probably talk about Colorado for a couple more hours.
No, I think this is
Ian's really good right now. If anybody wants to come out and ski, there's a shit ton of snow.
Yeah.
Got back. It was great.
Yeah, Evan, you just got back from Colorado, right? Your annual trip.
And you didn't even come to Boulder on your way down?
Not enough time, man. It's a tight window.
Yeah.
Well, you drive to that too.
We do, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
How's the Model X supercharger route?
We actually rented, which I'm actually glad we rented because it was some pretty rough roads and the car always gets trashed up there. So and then we make the trip home in one day, and with the superchargers, it is as Paul can attest, it's a long freaking haul, especially if you have to stop and supercharge.
Right. Well,
and if the family's going, are we there yet?
It was just tearing me this year. No kids.
Really? No kids at all?
I know.
I mean, I know the boys are in school, but what about?
Yeah, Mara didn't want to miss class because she'd would have had to take finals and.
Wow!
Hang on,
I'm getting old.
In high school, who'd rather go to school than go skiing in Colorado?
Wow. She would rather go skiing, but she'd rather not take finals than go skiing.
So forgive me, I have to ask, what did you rent?
It was a Ford Edge, I think, is that the little four-wheel drive?
An exceptionally ugly vehicle. It looks like a big Kia Soul.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but it worked well. It has this intelligent four-wheel drive that worked remarkably well. I have to tell you, we kept the skis inside the car because we had room, and it had that little sensor underneath where you kick underneath the rear bumper, which seemed really comical and gimmicky on the commercials. But it's cool. It was a lifesaver when your hands are full with skis and poles and crap. It was really nice. So we were happy with it.
Yeah, no, I've
had gas mileage was crap. We only got like 21 to 23 miles per gallon, despite it looking aerodynamic and being fairly small. And we get the same in a Suburban going out there. So it was crap.
It is Ford. Not super good at making fuel efficient vehicles. Did we just lose a sponsor?
Again, I think we lost them about 8 years ago.
Yeah, I was just going to say it may have been right after Danny's Honda rant went south. Well, speaking of another sponsor we're about to lose, and this is not brand new, but we don't necessarily, you don't watch What Drives Us for scoops. You watch What Drives Us for the brilliant commentary and insight we add to the news of the day. So again, this is from a few weeks ago, but I saw this and I'm sorry. I had to talk about it. And forgive me. I know it's self-indulgent, but this is the dashboard of the Byton M-Byte coming EV. And what the fuck are they thinking?
What, you don't like a 6 foot map in front of you when you're driving?
What the fuck are they thinking? I don't understand any of this. This is like somebody who was drunk looked at the Model 3 and went, okay, we just do that except make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yes.
The redundant touch screen on the steering wheel and the center console, dumb. The touch screen on the steering wheel, really dumb. Okay, really.
That's quite the windshield.
I don't know what to say. I mean, if this is the advanced interior in your electric car, I am afraid of the rest of it.
Yeah, and when you look at the picture,
unless it's like for watching widescreen IMAX movies while the car's in autonomous mode, that might be good.
I got nothing. When you look at the picture here, it actually looks like that the driver and passenger are both FaceTiming someone.
Yeah, because they're so far apart.
Each other.
Maybe each other.
Are you still over there?
Tell the kids to be quiet in the back.
It's like that part in Wall-E where the people are on their little mover things and they're right next to each other, but they're talking to each other on the screens.
Yep.
It's so, I don't know. And that's a different interior, Tony, than one you're showing than the one on here. And I don't know if one's a newer or older prototype, but it just, a lot of people have ripped the Model 3 interior and said that it's stupid and it doesn't make sense, yada, yada. And I have actually been one of those, like, I get some of it, but I think the idea behind it is brilliant and genius. And I get what they're trying to do. I think like Tesla often does, they go too far. They didn't really think it through super well. There's probably a couple of tweaks to the Model 3 interior that we'll see someday. But yeah, this is just the other side of that, which is just cray-cray. I mean, but yeah, like the 10 Commandments would be really good on that screen. You know? Oh, Moses. Oh, sorry. I love that movie.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing that's great is they show the map in this picture. Here, let me share it here. I want to show you what I'm.
No.
Wait, there we go. Don't. Yeah, tough. There it is. So they show the map over here is like half of this entire screen.
Jeez.
And I just have to believe that the direction of travel is up. Right? Yeah. The shortest way. So you're seeing a mile to your side and a quarter mile ahead.
What's you only go east and west?
Right. Well, even then it would rotate, right? So, I mean, what's the point of having the map?
This is only an east-west card, Tony.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. The
north-south model looks completely different.
It's portrait, not landscape.
Yeah. The other model is portrait.
Yeah, and you know, I already hate it when the car is required to have navigation up all the time. Anyway,
yeah.
I mean, I you know, and tell me if I'm the only one here, but I drive the exact same route to work every single day, going and coming back 250 times a year, and I've done this for 15 years. I know how to get there by now. I don't need the map. I mean, it's great to have. It's a great option when I'm, you know, off in some new area or I'm driving across the country. But
you don't try to take a different way to work every day.
Yeah, no,
that is definitely not Tony. That is not our Tony.
You get the car and you're the human autonomous driver.
Right.
You get to work and go, geez, how did I get here?
And where is my beautiful house?
And your beautiful wife.
Yes.
Well, our next story, we're going to go back to Mr. Paul Guzik, who has a little announcement.
Yeah. We'll put up the link, I guess, or someone will put up the link. But interestingly enough, Toyota is finally jumping on the EV bandwagon. They formed a joint venture with Panasonic, who's also got a joint venture with Tesla. So
stop the presses.
There's some cousin, sister nepotism going on. Anyway, they're going to build EV batteries, and they're actually publicly saying Toyota's they want to have 10 EVs by the mid-2020s, which is not that far away. So let's hope that they will commit to this and dump the fuel cell stuff that they're working on and make real EVs.
The only problem I have with this is how many times have we heard Toyota flip-flop about EVs, about a statement coming out that they're really into it now, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, "Oh, no, we're going to stick with the Prius range." Like
I think someone finally woke up and said, "You know what? Hybrids were a great interim technology, but the future is EVs." And if you keep trying to sell hybrids, you're going to miss the boat.
So, okay. We want to make sure that they're actually talking about batteries here.
Yeah, they say
prismatic lithium ion. Okay. Because we know that Toyota, like they said, Toyota's done the bait and switch in the past. Where they say, we're going to create an electric vehicle, and then they argue that hydrogen is an electric.
Right.
Okay.
It will be very interesting to see.
You know, Toyota and Panasonic have committed to researching solid-state batteries, which they've talked about. You know, they're two huge-ass companies, so if they could actually pull this off, you know, Toyota has a great reputation worldwide as a reliable car company. You know, if they built a car that competed with the Leaf or the Tesla or even the Bolt, I think that would be pretty cool.
Yes, it really would. And we've said for many years, why is Toyota dragging their feet? Why are they fighting this so much? Why are they on the hydrogen bandwagon so heavily? I mean, I would just love to see more plug-in options. I would love to see a RAV4 Prime
Yep.
I would love to see a Camry Prime. I would love to see those things as a stepping stone. But
yeah, like a Camry Volt would be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Since the Volt is killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like like taking your car, Tony, and doubling the battery range. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's something that they have resisted, all this time. But yeah, if by mid 2020 they actually do have multiple full EV options.
Mid 2020, so it means 2025, which will come around pretty quick.
Oh, the mid 20s. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
But I think the world has finally said, hey, EVs are here. All the major companies are doing some kind of EV initiative, except for Toyota. And, Nissan, who knows what's going to happen to them with their no management now. So maybe Toyota will step in and make something cool. And Toyota, in their standard way, is to under-promise and over-deliver. So if they say it gets 80 miles range, it will get 100 probably. So that would be good.
Let's hope.
And they could buy Faraday Future.
I have to say though, all I can think when I look at that story is that where they got that 7-year-old plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, saw that too.
Come on.
Yeah, they should have at least got like the Tesla RAV picture on there.
Yeah, something.
But whoever was writing just
isn't. Yeah, that's all.
And that's what they came up with.
So the interesting thing here, and I don't want to drag this out too much, but if Toyota actually has made some kind of progress in solid-state batteries, and if they're partnering with a manufacturer like Panasonic to make these solid-state batteries, that is a disruption level event in the electric vehicle industry.
Well, and they would sell them to other companies. They already sell a lot of electronics through their Denso division to Subaru, Mazda, Mitsubishi, a lot of the other Japanese manufacturers. And that's the way they can do it. They can, form a separate entity to sell just the battery technology to everybody.
Or they could just keep them for a couple of years and leapfrog everybody.
Yeah, but I'm
not saying you're wrong.
Prior nickel metal hydride battery technology that was jointly developed with Toyota, they ended up selling it like for the Nissan Altima, the Chevy Tahoe hybrid, which was an awful car, but it did use Toyota's battery technology.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's all I got this week. Anybody else got one more thing?
I got one more thing.
Go, Mark Conway.
Can always count on him.
Go, my man.
I wanted to let people know that this Friday.
Wow.
This Friday, we at the Waterloo Region EVA are having our January meeting, and we're hosting it at the Evolve One Center, which is pictured here.
That's not Tepperman's.
I was going to say, is that Tepperman's? Yeah.
No, there's you can see that Russell's couch is not in the parking lot.
Still.
Yeah, so that's not it. But this is the Evolve Center in Waterloo. If you're in the Waterloo region or around and be interested to come to one of our meetings, this is your chance. It'll be Friday at 7 p.m. Send us RSVP to our Facebook or our Twitter page, and we'll be happy to send you the relevant information.
So my question is, why is the one car in the uncovered parking lot as far away from the building as possible?
Because that Paul is the drone operator who's taking this picture.
Because they're standing next to the car looking.
Yeah, that's right. So when the drone comes down, it can bounce off the car and not off his head.
And with all those spots, he's double parked too.
I was going to say shame, but no.
Now to clarify for our listeners who are looking to travel to this event, we're talking Waterloo, Iowa?
No, Waterloo, Iowa is a bit off. It's Waterloo, Ontario, which is about 60 miles southwest of Toronto.
But isn't it like January and cold up there?
Paul, if we were just to abide by that, we'd never leave our houses. So we're going out. It doesn't matter. And yes, that day is scheduled to be minus 15 degrees Celsius. So it's not going to be warm, but it'll be warm in the solar heated building.
Go Canada.
And just as a point of fact, all those solar panels.
And if you park under the panel, your car won't get snow on it.
No snow and a free charge. And there are 1,400 panels in this picture.
Wow.
And this is a net zero building, which means that with its geothermal heating and the solar combined, it's basically a negative draw on the power system. They put more power into the system than they take out.
Including heat.
That's
pretty impressive.
Wow.
That is beautiful.
It's the first platinum LEED building in Canada.
Wow.
That's
Very
great.
nice.
Yeah.
So why
And
can't
you
all
see
build-
that nice green field across the road from it. They're building the second phase of this building, which will be slightly larger starting this year.
Wow.
So there was a big uptake on the leasing space in this building. It's 95% leased currently, and that was enough for them to break ground on a new building across the street.
That is cool.
Are
Yeah.
they going to build a tunnel to connect them?
No,
Hyperloop.
a hyperloop.
Yeah. How quickly can you get across the street now?
Right.
4 nanoseconds.
A net zero Hyperloop. You'll actually go back in time, traveling between the buildings.
Exactly.
Oh, Mark, that was beautiful. Well, let's do some shout outs and go home, gentlemen. Let's start with, well, Mark, I just, so everybody knows where to get a hold of you to come to this event.
If you want to come to the event, please RSVP to our Twitter feed at WREVA Group. And you can just send us a note there and we'll send you the relevant information to get you there.
And you can see on Mark's screen, let's put him up for just a second. There we go. You can see on that screen.
The only guy with the bottom third.
Yeah. Bastard, that's it. You're done. Yeah. Evan, Mr. Quiet.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
worried
yeah,
about
I'm
you. Are you
distracted.
not feeling well?
I'm feeling very well, actually. I've been a little distracted. We just launched my wife's campaign for school board this evening, so I'm a little distracted by that. So sorry I wasn't more raucous. As I
No, vote Fusco.
Yeah, if you happen to be in the Nixa school district, which I expect we have hundreds of followers that live in the Nixa
Absolutely.
school district, be sure to vote for my wife, Tamara.
Absolutely.
Okay, here in Chicago, we'll all vote for you and all.
Well, that could swing the whole thing.
Right.
Twice.
Yeah.
You'll vote twice.
We could get the Russians to hack into the voting system.
If you got connections.
I got nothing. Well, Mr. Guzik, why don't you treat us to some shout outs?
I'm going to shout out our new governor, Governor Paulus, for jumping on the EV bandwagon. Actually, I think he's been the EV enthusiast for quite a while. And I'll promote my business as always, Boulder Hybrids. Our website's boulderhc.com. We fix, repair, service hybrids, EVs, and we sell used hybrids and EVs. So if you're looking for a car and you're in the Denver, Boulder area, look us up or bring us your broken car.
Absolutely. And Paul is the man to fix it, boulderhc.com. Fusco for school board. You're gonna have a whole thing here. Tony, bring us home.
Shout out as usual to everyone in the chat room. Everyone's in there, and Lee Moon, who provides the music for the Tesla Life. If you haven't watched Tesla Life yet, you should. Shout out again to Brenda, who is our most recent subscriber. I did get the notification in the middle of the show, so that's awesome. Also, I want to remind everyone that if you do use Flipboard as your news aggregator, like I do, look for the What Drives Us magazine. Philip Barclay, I get notifications. He'll throw 5 or 7 articles at a time in there, so it keeps me on my toes to see what he's reading. You'll see what we're talking about on the show. You'll be able to read our articles, and I am extremely happy to be able to tell you that if you aren't able to catch the show live and you don't want to sit in front of your computer, and let's face it, a lot of us have faces that are better suited for radio, You can now get the most recent episodes on iTunes, Spotify, and whatever the other one is.
Stitcher, Slacker?
I think it's Stitcher. I don't think it's Slacker.
Okay.
For some reason, I couldn't figure out Slacker, so I think it's Stitcher. It's one of those two. But definitely, yes. All the episodes are now uploaded and available for your listening pleasure.
There you go. So you can listen to it on your drive to work, and 100% of the credit for all that work goes to one person in this picture. Guess who?
Oh, yeah, actually,
It's Tony.
Yeah,
it's Tony. Tony did all that work.
Yeah, it's funny. If you go look at when the individual shows were posted, you'll see like between 5 and 15 of them posted on one day.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it worked real long.
So thank you, Tony, for that. Seriously, that's amazing.
We should offer a prize if anybody can definitively confirm they've listened to all 304 episodes in a row.
Oh God, that poor person would be brain damaged. I can't believe we've done them.
I know. See, Russell has been on all 300 shows and he's brain damaged. So I think that's anecdotally proof right there.
I'm proof of many things. And yeah, the effect this show has on one's psyche, without a doubt. That's me. As always, want to thank Michael Mannering for our amazing theme music. Visit him at manthing.com. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/whatdrivesaShow. That's patreon.com/whatdrivesaShow. Go there. You can subscribe. $1 a month is less than a quarter a show. Helps the show move forward. We need your support. Please consider doing that. We're on Twitter at What Drives Us. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/whatdrivesus. And of course, youtube.com/whatdrivesus. That's where the reviews on the 2019 Prius, the 2019 Lexus Lc 500, and the 2019 Avalon Hybrid are going to appear very soon, as well as all of our shows since we went to video and all of our reviews and special events. They're all there. I'm really hanging with Autonomoose.
Yeah.
All right.
It's tough to beat that one.
It's tough to beat that one. I mean, cheers to anybody else who
Autonomoose A.
I like A after Autonomoose.
Yeah.
Autonomous A.
Autonomous A.
Autonomous A.
Autonomous A. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, David, for that. Thank you, everyone in the chat room, for hanging out with us. And thank you, of course, to all of you, each and every single one of you. And if it was Romper Room, I'd hold up my magic mirror and thank you and thank you and thank you. But it's not, and I don't. And thank God. That would be tedious as hell.
I'm going to interrupt. Russell, when are you going to have the Avalon Hybrid review?
That should be in about a week.
That is a nice ride.
Did you get a chance to drive one?
I've just Googled it at the dealership, but it's a beautiful car.
Oh, it is gorgeous. It is an amazing car. It gets
like 44 mpg or something ridiculous.
It gets really good mpg. It's fun to drive, and it is beautiful. Of course, it's the most expensive Toyota, short of the Supra. But you know, I mean, it's a really nice car. And since Lexus stupidly killed the GS450H, I'm going to kick someone in the tender parts for that. That was one of my very favorite cars of all time, and they killed it. Yeah, I think the Avalon Hybrid is the go-to, to be honest with you. Did we just lose Lexus? Did I just turn a Lexus in and then
you pooped on Lexus? Yeah.
I poop on you, Lexus. God. I like you, Lexus. I just wish you hadn't killed my favorite one. Anybody with anything else? But thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to drive. Tune in next week and find out what drives us. See you next week, kids.
See ya.